My name is Jennifer, and today I would like to talk to you about shame, and specifically the impacts that shame can have on the important relationships in your life. Now, I've spoken a lot on the Coping with Depression blog about how I spent years and years feeling deeply ashamed of my OCD and depression, and to the point where I was terrified of anybody finding out my dirty secret. And in 2014 I suffered a really serious mental health breakdown. I lost my job, I was suicidal and in a really bad place for about 9 months. And yet during that time, I would say 99% of the people in my life had no idea what was going on. They thought I was working, happy and healthy, and that is because I was lying to them. And this was all due to my shame and my fear of rejection should they find out the truth. And when I look back on that time now, I realise just how counterintuitive it was. Firstly, maintaining the lie of normality was exhausting. I would agonise over my responses to text messages, and particularly if somebody asked me to go out for the evening, I would concoct these elaborate stories about why I couldn't come out, making sure that they were believable, but not so elaborate that I wouldn't be able to remember them properly if I was called upon to remember details. And trying to keep track of who knew what about my situation was also exhausting. It was like a full-time job, but one that I was failing at because obviously these were important people in my life, so they could sense that something was off, they just didn't know what. And because I wasn't volunteering any information or responding to their questions, our relationships naturally became strained and more distant. So the irony is that in trying to preserve those relationships through deception, I was actually doing a lot more damage. Also, there was the burden that I was putting on those very few people who did know what was going on. There were only 4 of them, but I would insist that they participated in this lie, in this public lie, and I would get really irrationally angry if I felt that they'd said something or done something that would hint at what was really going on in my life. And so I was really hurting these people. And, the real kicker is that all these things combined, and my awareness of what I was doing to these people that I really cared about were causing more shame, more guilt, more self-hatred. Shame begets shame, and it doesn't do anybody any favours. Now, when I did finally open up and start telling people the truth about what I was going through, those feelings completely fluttered away. And I'm not going to say I didn't experience any rejection at all, and I would never advise anybody to reveal anything or disclose anything that they're not comfortable disclosing. But what I would say is that it's much easier and much healthier to just be honest than to try and live a life, than to try and live a lie due to shame. Because as the old cliche goes, those who, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind.